Let's be honest, we've all been there. That moment of hesitation when you're faced with a simple yet really profound question. Today, we're going to dive deep into the dilemma of giving and what it actually means to help. So, picture this. You're walking down the street and you see someone asking for money. What's your move? Do you reach into your pocket? Do you just look away and keep walking? It feels like a split-second decision, but man, it opens up some incredibly complex questions about kindness, about impact, and what it really means to help someone. To really get a sense of the scale here, let's start with a number, 413,670. Now, according to India's 2011 census, that is the official count of beggars and vagrants. It's a staggering figure, right? But what's truly shocking is what this number doesn't tell us. Yep, you heard that right. Because this population is often on the move and really hard for census takers to find, pretty much all experts agree the real number is much, much higher. So the crucial point here is the problem you see on the street, it's just the visible tip of a massive iceberg. So you see, this isn't just a personal dilemma. It's a universal one. And to really understand it, we have to look way beyond that official count. That official number, the 413,000, it's just one part of a much bigger picture. You have to place it within the context of the 1.77 million people who are homeless in India. And then beyond that, you have millions more who are living right on the edge, where just one health crisis or a sudden job loss could push them onto the streets. And as more people move to cities looking for work, this need becomes super concentrated and a lot more visible to all of us. So why are people in this position in the first place? It's so easy to make assumptions, but the reality is this tangled, complicated web of causes. It's a mix of huge systemic failures and deeply personal crises. This really isn't about a simple choice. No way. It's about things like persistent poverty, the lack of secure housing, and untreated disabilities or mental health issues. It's about the absolutely devastating cycle of addiction. And then, in some of the most tragic cases, it's about organized criminal networks that exploit vulnerable people, making begging a profitable and forced business. And this brings us right to the core of our dilemma. Your gut instinct is to give cash. It feels direct. It feels immediate. It feels kind. But what if that simple act of kindness is unintentionally causing more harm than good? This quote just hits the nail on the head. That natural, compassionate response that we all feel, sometimes it can actually fuel the very systems that keep people trapped. Let's break down exactly why that is. Okay, let's really dive into this, because this is the critical takeaway. First, that cash you give can go directly to traffickers who force children or disabled individuals to beg. Your money literally makes their cruel business profitable. Second, it often fuels addictions, which just perpetuates that cycle of dependence. Third, and this one is so important, giving money to a child financially encourages them to be on the street instead of in school. And finally, it can actually undermine real, formal rehabilitation efforts. I mean, think about it. If someone can make enough money on the street to just get by, what's their incentive to join a shelter or a skills training program that could actually help them in the long run? You know, this is a global problem, and different countries have taken starkly different approaches to try and solve it. Let's look at two competing philosophies. And this illustrates the divide perfectly. On one side, you have the rehabilitation model, like in India, the focus on support, shelter, medical care, skills training. The goal is to help the individual get back on their feet. On the other side, you've got the criminalization model, which you see in places like the UAE. Here, the focus is on fines and imprisonment. The goal isn't to help the individual, it's to eliminate the public act itself, often to protect the country's image and public order. As you can see, there is no single answer across the globe. The UAE has a strict ban. Denmark restricts it in certain public places. In the US, it's a total patchwork of local rules that are often challenged on free speech grounds. And in Italy, it's largely decriminalized, though you might get a local fine in a heavy tourist zone. It's a complete spectrum of responses. Now, to see that rehabilitation model in action, you can look at India's SMILE scheme. Instead of punishing the act of begging, it's designed to provide a real pathway off the streets through things like shelter, healthcare, and job skills. The goal is to solve the root problem, not just hide the symptom. So after all of this, we come right back to that original moment on the street. If giving cash is often counterproductive, what's the alternative? How can you channel that compassion you feel in a truly effective way?
So here's the bottom line. Your kindness can make a real difference if it's directed effectively. Instead of cash, consider supporting vetted organizations that provide comprehensive care. You could also donate essential items like food or clothing. Now, if you suspect exploitation, especially if a child is involved, report it to the authorities. That is crucial. And in the long run, the best help supports systemic solutions. But if you want to help an individual in that moment, you can always offer to buy them a meal or direct them to a local shelter. That's a direct form of help that you know can't be misused.
Ultimately, this isn't about telling you to stop caring, not at all. It's about rethinking what caring really looks like. It transforms the question from, should I give, to what is the most effective way to help? And that little shift in perspective, well, that can make all the difference.